move along now to – actually, let me hit this chat, and then we'll move along to Colin Oliver. Nick McSwain said 20 targets on 265 coverage snaps. That high? Thank you. He's asking, is that high? I don't know, man. If you're talking about Trayvon Diggs, maybe when he was with Dallas this year, I don't know. I would have to look across the league as to what's high and what's not there. But I do know this defense is a whole different animal from what Dallas's defense is. Dallas has the worst scoring defense in the league, guys. The worst scoring defense in the league. So I would kind of take everything he did there and throw it out the window. As a matter of fact, I had something else I wanted to scroll down and show you guys. It was the PFF grade. I already exited out. But his PFF grade was kind of interesting to me, he being Trayvon Diggs. When you look at his PFF grade, I'll pull it up off screen real quick. It was 81.5. He actually had the highest PFF grade of any Green Bay Packer defender. And if you look this season, he only had one game that he graded higher than an 81.5. That was actually against the Packers, an 83.1 in that game. Other than that, on the season, Trayvon Diggs finished with a 56.1 PFF grade. However, in Green Bay, 81.5 his first game. I think that's I don't know. I think it's trending in the right direction. We would all agree, right? So appreciate you there, Nick. Again, man, I would try to look those numbers up, but flying solo, can't do it here on the fly. Appreciate you being a member for 12 months there too. All right, let's jump into a little Colin Oliver, similar setup here. All right, let's talk about how he played. I was impressed with Colin Oliver. The thing I noticed about Oliver, I can see why they call him Baby Micah. Not that he's going to be the caliber player that Micah is, but he's got quick twitch and burst off the line of scrimmage. Seems like he's in the backfield really quick. He's kind of an undersized edge rusher compared to like your Rashawn Gary's, your Lucas Van Ness's, guys like that. And some people would say Micah Parsons a little undersized, but Micah Parsons is a freaking Tasmanian devil out there. You see a little bit of that in Colin Oliver, so I can kind of see the comp there personally. But let's talk about his numbers, all right? Because it wasn't as good as Trayvon Diggs in terms of PFF. However, I thought he held his own out there. So Colin Oliver, Week 18 game per NFL Pro, he had 30 snaps, 15 pass rushes. Now, let's get the run defense out of the way, okay? In the run defense, 0 tackles to the best of my knowledge, okay? Now, pass rush, 15 pass rush. So out of 15 pass rushes, Colin Oliver had 4 quarterback pressures according to NFL Pro. Guys, that's 26.7%. 26.7% pressure rate according to NFL Pro. Those are Micah numbers. Now, again, it's only one game. It's only 15 pass rushes. But boy, oh boy, I don't think you could have rushed the quarterback any better than he did in terms of pressure rate. And again, that's the NFL Pro. Maybe PFF has different numbers. You guys, I explain it every time. You know why I choose NFL Pro over PFF, because they actually back it up with the tape, all right? Pressure rate, and then he had 1 hustle stop, which was on a halfback screen, okay? So he made the tackle on a halfback screen. We're going to show that play plus the 4 quarterback pressures here in just a second. Now, run defense, 0 tackles. Now, is that alarming? Not necessarily, right? When you look at the tape, I didn't look at it like, oh, man, he's way out of his run fit. There's nothing that looked reckless to me, but he's definitely a pass rushing defensive end. You can tell that he's a speed rusher. It's essentially what he looks like to me, is a speed to power guy, not a power with a secondary move guy. He's a speed to power type guy. He's going to use speed to set up power, meaning you rush outside, quick twitch inside, and all of a sudden you get the tackle on their heels. Next rep, set up a speed rush, and then give them that stiff arm, that straight arm pass rush, and kind of bull them back into the quarterback, right? He also had 1 coverage snap according to NFL Pro. Now, let's watch the tape here. Again, Colin Oliver, to me, it looked like he lined up at left defensive end all day long, okay? And most of the time, he was in what we call a wide 9 technique. If you're new here and don't know what that means, a wide 9 is simply where you line up when rushing the passer. You won't see it on this particular diagram. I don't know why it doesn't show it, but what you have is if you line up directly over top of an offensive lineman, okay, directly over top of an offensive lineman, it's even numbers. So if you're playing nose tackle, right over top of the center, that's a 0. Now work your way out. Both sides go to a 2 if you're over the guard, a 4 if you're over the tackle, a 6 if you're over the Y, and if you're outside of that, that's what we refer to as a wide 9 most of the time. You can get really detailed with the 7 looks and 5 looks and all that. Just focus on the evens and the odds, and you'll kind of know where these guys are lining up. When we say 7 tech, 9 tech, wide 9, I always specify wide 9 just to let everybody know, okay, yeah, that's right. That's way out there. That's way out wide, right? Outside of the D gap. So with that being said, he played wide 9 most of the day, and you can see him outside here. We've got him circled on the screen. Let's roll the tape. And I'm trying to think. I think this is the screen pass. So to me, this looked like it was going to be a TE stunt. What's going to happen is the tackle is going to go first and rush outside shoulder, and Colin Oliver is going to jab step out and then loop around. That's what we call a TE stunt or a loop blitz, okay? So you'll notice him stunt around and watch him immediately recognize the screen. He sees the big hog molly's getting out there to set up the screen pass. No hesitation, great instincts. And here you see that hybrid type build come into play, right? When you look at how he approaches this, he looks like a linebacker, a stack backer chasing down this play. Doesn't look like a big body defensive end, right? So again, if we roll it back to the front one more time, watch him now that you know it's a screen, jab, step in. Oh, I see what they're doing. Watch him go sniff it out. Bang. That's a hustle stop. And why is it a hustle stop? Look how much ground he covers, guys. Look where he starts and think linear in a straight line, right? Does he cover 20 yards? He covers way more than 20 yards to get over there and make that tackle. Bang. I love that he arrived with a little bit of attitude, too. You notice that, man. He brung some pop with that hit as well. So, all right, next play. Here are your 4 pressures according to NFL Pro. All right, here you are in a wide 9 look again. Let's watch him work. Let me go slow motion so we can really appreciate this and kind of set the move up here, all right? So you're going to see speed twitch guy, right? And right here, he kind of straightens out, and then bang, outside. Watch him run down J.J. McCarthy and get a hand in his face. Unfortunately, the DB kind of gives up on the play. He says he was pushed off there. I don't know if he actually was. But again, what you're seeing with Colin Oliver is eyes in the backfield. J.J. McCarthy wanted to roll right, probably go for a bigger play. He couldn't because Colin Oliver was there. I thought that was a fine pass rush. Kind of got stood up at the point of attack, though. And you can see he tried to – it was like setting up speed, and he went to power and kind of gets stonewalled. But then eyes in the backfield, all right, let me get outside and play contain. Here we are again, same thing on the left side from the defense's perspective, wide 9 look. Let's watch the ball. Ball snapped, all right. Going to be a fake toss. So notice eyes are on the running back, but he didn't just full sprint to the fake toss. Love his natural instincts is the big thing. You've seen it on the screen pass, and now you're seeing it on the fake toss. And then he has the athleticism to run J.J. McCarthy down. And when he does, getting his hands on his ankles like that causes that ball to not be accurate. Again, one time just to loop it, look at him run J.J. down. That's really good athleticism to chase down the quarterback and cause an errant throw. Pressure pick, coverage sack, right? You're going to have, if you continue to tally up consistency at the clip of 26% pressure rate, if you continue to do that, if you're Colin Oliver, you're going to have a good chunk of plays like that where the quarterback has to rush the ball out of his hands, and that's going to lead to interceptions, I promise you. Again, this is his rookie debut. I'm not saying he's going to be a starting edge defender week 1 next year, but what he put on tape looks pretty good. Here he is again, another wide look on the left side. Let's watch him work, see if we can call out. So see how he goes to the outside shoulder and then bull rush, hand right on McCarthy there. So you can see kind of how close, and this is a good play if that is McCarthy. That might be, yeah, that's 9. That's 9. Boy, is that 9. But look at him just drive the tackle back into the quarterback and get a hand in his face. That's a pressure, guys. That ball should have been tipped. I don't know how it wasn't tipped. But look at where on a quick drop, and it's probably the first read. It might have been the second read from J.J. McCarthy. And look how close Colin Oliver gets to the quarterback. That's how you want to be disruptive in the passing game. So I thought that was a really, really good rep there as well. And now the next pass rush. Let's see if he's lined up on the left side again, right? They're in the gun. Let's watch him work against the same tackle. Again, taking the outside shoulder, just good hands there, compressing the pocket, and you've seen made JJ step up in the well to deliver that ball. You want bad quarterbacks to have to step up in the pocket and throw the football like that. You don't want them running around making plays on the edge. This is what you want to do against Caleb this week. Make him step up and make that throw. And again, he kind of had a receiver. You can see Justin Jefferson getting a little bit frustrated. Why did he miss him? Look at 45. Look at 45. Made him step up, short arm the throw, and he airmails it. So again, pressure pick, coverage sack, and in this case, pressure leads to an incompletion down there on a throw that went to the end zone. Great job by Colin Oliver. Now, let's talk about the PFF grades and whether or not we agree with the PFF grades. And I watched all of his snaps. Those were the highlights, guys. What you seen was a hustle stop on reading a screen pass. To me, that's a +2 play, hands down, no questions asked. Those 4 pressures, +2 play. Well, 3 of the 4 pressures, I would give it a +2 grade because the one he kind of gets stonewalled and he just finds himself looking in the backfield. All right, and he busts out and gets the pressure on JJ. That one, I imagine he probably got a 0 or a -2 would be my guess. Maybe a -1. Like it's good effort. Did you play your assignment? Yes. Did you play with great effort? Yes. But did you execute? No. That was a bad pass rush, right? It just kind of played into your hands with JJ McCarthy rolling out, and you got the athleticism chasing him down. So I can see it being a 0 to maybe a -0.5, something like that on that particular play. But nonetheless, PFF, they didn't think he played good. They said 54.9. They said his run defense grade was 47.8, tackle grade 27.5, but pass rush grade of 53.5 and a coverage grade of 75.7. I don't know how in the hell a player has a 26% quarterback pressure percentage, okay, and have a 53.5 pass rush grade. That's a little mind-boggling to me. Okay, I don't know what it takes to get a good one, but man, oh man, that's a tough look. Now, again, this is why I like to look at NFL Pro over PFF. We're sitting there asking ourselves, why did they give him a 53.5? We don't know. They won't tell. Now they'll tell us there's 2 hits, there's this many hurries, there's that and this. Okay, cool. They won't even show you the plays, right? So with NFL Pro, we can go watch those pressures. He got 4 pressures. According to NFL Pro, that's what they said. I agree, it was 4 pressures. However, one of those 4, not necessarily a great play. The other 3 +2s, in my opinion. So with that being said, I could see if his pass rush grade was a 65 or a 70, right? 53.5 don't make a whole lot of sense to me. Tackle grade, the fact that he didn't have any tackles in the run game, the run fit, it looked a little bit wonky. You can tell that's not his strength, so to speak. So I kind of agree with the run defense grade. Tackle grade, I think 27.5 is pretty bad. I don't know how many broken tackles he had. I don't remember going, oh man, that's horrible effort. That's horrible tackling ability. I don't remember seeing that. And he did drop into coverage there. Maybe they're giving the screen pass as the coverage mark there as well. Who knows? Because again, they don't tell you. They don't give you the specifics there. But nonetheless, when I looked at the tape and watched him play, I would feel comfortable giving Colin Oliver altogether, I would say a B, maybe a B-. Guys, that's good. That's a rookie in his debut at the NFL level against a #1 offense in the National Football League. Now, if you think Minnesota's cheeks, I get it. I understand. But that's still their starting offense that was out there. That was still their handpicked first-round quarterback that they moved on from Sam Darnold for to play, right? That's still Justin Jefferson out there running routes. That's still Jordan Mason, their best running back on their roster, out there running the rock. That was Jordan Mason that Trayvon Diggs chased down, right? So again, that's Colin Oliver and Trayvon Diggs going against a #1 offense in their Packers debut. I expect them to only get better. I really do. So now the question becomes, where does Colin Oliver fit, right? Where do you put him into this defense? Do you try to start him in the future? To me, I can see him being a change of pace, kind of a speed rushing off the bench, right? You got Baron Sorrell, who to me is more of a power rusher, uses his hands pretty well. So starting now, I would say it's, obviously in the playoffs here, it's Rashawn Gary, LVM, and then you mix in Kingsley Enagbare and Brenton Cox Jr., and you're hoping that Colin Oliver and Baron Sorrell can get some snaps. When you think about all that, with Devontae Wyatt being out, kind of makes you think you're probably going to see some cheetah, right? Which is basically 3 pass rushers and only 1 defensive tackle. Now, the Chicago Bears love to run the football, right? And they're very good at running the football. So on those run snaps and 12 personnel, can't really justify putting the cheetah package in there. You're going to be too light in the britches, so to speak, to stop the run. So I think this probably isn't the best game to gauge Colin Oliver on. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not active for this game, to be honest with you, because you're probably going to want Baron Sorrell out there. He's a bigger body lineman that you could probably play inside if you need to. Same thing with like LVM. We'll put him at a 3 tech from time to time and all that. So we'll see though, man. Only time will tell. But if you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about Colin Oliver? What'd you think of the breakdown? What'd you think of the tape? What'd you think of the PFF grade? Did you agree with it? Did you disagree with it? We want to hear from you in the comments. Let us know. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know when we go live in the future. Super chat here from Mike Witt. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, hey, boys, don't know why, but I got a good feeling about Saturday and going forward. Having LVN, Oliver, and Sorrell opposite Micah is going to be fun. I'm thinking 26-23 Packers Saturday. Obviously, probably meaning Rashawn Gary and not Micah, with Micah being out. But I love the idea of everything you mentioned there with Micah next year. I've already been my gears have been going towards that, like, holy cow, man. Micah Parsons out there next year, fresh ACL with these guys with another year under the belt. And you got a lot of guys that you just mentioned here with the Super Mike that are going to get some meaningful reps in the playoffs. That's big time football, right? That's on the grand stage. That's going to be great experience for these young guys for sure. 26-23 Packers, I could see that. I think it's probably going to be in the ballpark there. I don't know if either team will get the 30 points unless we go to overtime, but I think they'll both definitely crack 20s. So yeah, I think that's right in the ballpark, Mike. We'll make sure you remind us if you nail that this weekend for sure, man. So, but yeah, appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much.